It's not often that we get to see the face of courage in our world today, a world which is so filled with the echo chambers of propaganda and prejudice and falsehood. To hear the voice of courage for a man to stand up in front of the representatives of the world and to speak truth is nothing short of jaw-dropping. Take a look at Colonel Richard Kemp, retired British Army officer, speaking about the war in Israel.
Unlawful behavior and disregard of human rights.
The use of power by the Israeli army against the Palestinian demonstrators in Gaza.
I give the floor to United Nations Watch.
Mr. President, I was a British commander in Northern Ireland, Iraq and Afghanistan and have extensive experience dealing with rioting crowds whipped up by armed terrorists. I have observed the violent demonstrations on the Gaza border many times from the front lines. Unlike you, Mr. Chairman, and your Commission who have never been there. These are outrageous efforts to break through the fence and slaughter Jewish civilians. Hamas also set out to induce the IDF to kill Gaza civilians, to instigate global condemnation of Israel. The IDF took every possible step to avoid Palestinian casualties, but using live ammunition as a last resort was the only way they could defend their own people. The Commission grotesquely perverts this reality. I accuse this Council of handing a deliberately biased mandate to the Commission intended to defame Israel. I accuse this Commission of misrepresenting Hamas's actions, twisting organised violence into peaceful protest. I accuse this Commission of acting as an instrument of Hamas terrorism by falsely accusing Israel of crimes against humanity, by validating terror tactics and by inciting killing and violence. I accuse this Commission of betraying the Palestinian people by failing to condemn their Hamas oppressors who, as we meet today, are firing on genuine peaceful protesters in Gaza. I accuse this Commission of wicked prejudice against the Jewish state and its army in a manner calculated to undermine its ability to defend itself. Greater violence is planned by Hamas in a few days. Violence this Council could restrain by condemning Hamas for its murderous actions and rejecting this outrageous report. I appeal to every member state to repudiate it. If you do not, you will have the blood of Palestinians and Israelis on your hands.
This is the voice of courage. When you have a small minority, one person, that has the courage to stand up to the nation representatives of the nations of the world. That is the voice of courage. The Rebbe told Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu 40 years ago, when he was still a young Israeli ambassador to the United Nations, when the Rebbe met him, he came to the Rebbe's shul on Simchas Torah. And the Rebbe said to him that the way we're supposed to deal with the United Nations is as a house of darkness. Now, when you're faced with darkness, what do? You don't beat the darkness with a baseball bat. The way to combat darkness is simply by kindling a light. One small flame dispels a disproportionate amount of darkness. A little bit of truth dispels a disproportionate amount of falsehood. We too should learn the same, to be able to stand up with courage and with fortitude in what we believe in, to stand up for our family, to stand up for Israel, to stand up for what's right, despite the echo chamber of hatred that surrounds us. Because such is the nature of light, that a little bit of light banishes the darkness, a little bit of truth will ultimately prevail over the lies, the prejudice, the propaganda, and the falsehood.